Give or take a few yards, it's 6,188 miles from Bangkok to the Borough Hall in Hartlepool. And that's the journey Thailand's Srikoon Narachawat has made to defend his WBC international featherweight title. Welcome to Hartlepool, where the Thai champion takes on the challenge of Newcastle's John Davison for a title that qualifies the holder for a World Championship fight. It's the biggest fight of Davison's short professional career. He's 31, but he arrived late into professional boxing after the Olympic selectors left him out of the team for Seoul 2 years ago. Since then, Davison has won 9 out of his 10 professional contests, 4 of them inside the distance. Srikoon Narachawat is making his first defence of the title he won in Bangkok last June. And like most Thai champions, he was a famous kickboxer. Since turning to international rules, he's won all 13 fights. 7 of those wins came inside the distance. This one was against the Filipino Torero Ortega. Like all title fights, it's scheduled for 12 rounds. This bill is sponsored by Telstar Video Entertainment. Our regular fight night team is, of course, Jim Watt and Reg Gutteridge. But first of all, let's hear from our MC, Vince Miller.
Gentlemen, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing at 3 minutes each round for the WBC International Featherweight Championship. Presenting in the red corner, the challenger from Newcastle upon Tyne, John Davison. And in the blue corner, the champion from Thailand, Srikoon Narachawat. At the official weigh-in, Davison scaled 8 stone 12 3/4 pounds, Narachawat 8 stone 13.5 pounds. Your officials appointed by the WBC are as follows. Our judges from Thailand, Anek Hongtham Kam. From England, Mr. Harry Gibbs, OBE, and Mr. Larry O'Connell. Your supervisor from the WBC is Mr. Antonio Shira from Italy. Your medical officer is Mr. D.A. Trotter. Your timekeeper, Albert Kelleher. And your referee for this contest from London, Mr. Larry O'Connell. This is the main event of the evening.
Well, what a chance this is going to be now for Davison. And one of the best referees in the game, I think, Larry O'Connell. And I'm sure the Thailander management have checked him out to accept him okay, appointed by the WBC. So the southpaw Davison then, who's been looking for a lot of fights and quite honestly he's been a bit unlucky. He's been fixed up for so many and then the opponents pulled out. Our first look at the Thailander. Narachawat, bit of a mouthful for any commentator, but well, Barry managed it, so we've got to plod on. For those of you that saw Sok Chitladar in fights on Fight Night and before that in the World Championship against Charlie Magri, they say that this fellow's not the same style. He's more of a rough handful and has got a cauliflower ear to prove it. And that's a rarity in boxing these days. We leave that to the rugby players. It's good to see the challenger come off the stool and go for it, Jim.
Yeah, this is what he has to do. But I find that a lot of these Thailanders who come from the kickboxing school, they're equally effective when they go back as they are when they come forward. They're very dangerous little fellows to box because they have good balance. So although Davison wants to come forward, they push the champion back if possible, he's going to have to do it behind a tight defence because some of these Thailanders are a little bit sneaky and a little bit powerful.
Certainly not a worn-out 31-year-old Davison. He didn't start boxing actually till he was 25, and then fought all the top boys in the amateurs, and has a win over Paul Hodgkinson, who's European champion, just given up the British title and Boxer of the Year. although Hodgkins did actually avenge that defeat.
Obviously going to get all the encouragement he needs here, Davison. Worked the ropes well, actually, Narachawat. Considering he's fighting, as Gary said, over 6,000 miles away from home, Jim, he's a confident little character, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I think the life these fellows lead, Reg, they're not easily knocked out of their stride. Not too much upsets them. I think they've seen so much. But some good pressure there from Davidson. That didn't really have a great effect on the champion, but it was still good work, and maybe has done Davidson's confidence a little bit of good.
Countdown then for the first round.
Oh, good shot there. Southpaw right lead, right on the bell, and Larry O'Connell's well in there, but he's walking away there. Hands up as if to say, it didn't bother me. Well, I don't think it did him much good. At the moment, he doesn't want to sit down either. There's the Atkinson brothers from Liverpool working in the corner there.
Jim, have a look at that punch now, right at the end.
Well, that was a beautiful punch, Reg, and the only thing I find alarming about it was that the Thailander took it so well. Narachawat just took the punch and looked straight back at him. It was a good little shot.
Yeah, that was the flurry in the corner, and there it is. That was the leading punch.
And that was a good punch, but no effect at all.
Good start, isn't it, for this fellow? Manager Tommy Conroy there in the ring, and Donkey Jowett from Scotland on the outside working with him. Second round then of this featherweight championship between anybody that's rated between 10 and 30 by the WBC. And this fellow won his championship against an Argentinian in Bangkok. First defense then. As he sort of came above us there, Jim, at the commentary position. In this position here, he's so sinewy and strong, isn't he, the Thailander?
Yeah, he looks very strong, but it's a good start from Davison. He's some good sharp southpaw jabs. He's getting over the top of Narachawat's left lead. He's pawing with his lead a little bit. I think he's looking for the right hand lead. He just seems to show the left hand and come out with the right. But Davison's getting over the top of it. There's some good southpaw right hand work.
Well, I talked about a lot of Davison's opponents pulling out. I'm beginning to understand why now. It looks, well, let's face it, well above his station when they made the match, but quite rightly the manager and Davison himself said, we've got to have a go here. I'm 31, I can't hang around too long. Absorbs those clips around the head there, Jim, and particularly the ear. I can see now why he's got what they call a collie.
The good news is he hasn't managed to push Davison back yet. Davison is still pushing him back, and a good start from Davison. The northern crowd seem to have brought the best out of a couple of fighters recently in McCrory and Billy Hardy. So let's hope they can do it again tonight, because I think Davison's going to need a career best performance to beat this little fellow. I get the feeling he hasn't really started yet.
It's always a job to get these fellows to come out of their country, although he's been to Indonesia and won there a few times. I'm impressed by that. But to get him to come all this way, promoter Gus Robinson, well, they needed a bit of sponsorship from Telstar Video.
Quite often the Thailanders, Reg, they're very lazy in the first 3 or 4 rounds of a fight, and then they come on like a train as the fight goes on. Narachawat hasn't really shown us too much yet, and we have to believe that he can do a little bit better than he's done in the first couple of rounds here.
A little bit more volume on the bell, I suspect, there, but Larry O'Connell seems to sense when it's all going to happen and gets near to them towards the end of the round. There it is, there's some information there on John Davison. ABA finalist, as I say, had a win over Paul Hodkinson, and boxed for England quite a number of times and captained them about 7 times. He won 42 of 54 amateur contests. Have another look at this, Jim.
Well, again, we saw a lot of good work from Davison. He's pinning the champion back. See, again, he's getting over the top of the champion's left hand, scoring with good southpaw leads, pinning Narachawat against the ropes for long spells.
Third round then, and a very good start by Newcastle's Davison. I don't know how many southpaws the Thailander has fought. He may be having a bit of a problem with them.
I don't think it should be giving him a problem, Reg, because I think southpaws are at a premium over there. We see a lot of southpaw boxers from that part of the world. He just seems to have started very slowly. Davison, obviously, much more fired up, seeing this as his big chance, and obviously the crowd behind him. Again, a good punch from Davison, bang on the chin.
Hasn't mind swapping punches inside at all, Davison. In fact, he's welcoming it, and I think that surprised Narachawat. We'll talk about it going 12 rounds, but if it does, the referee actually scores in this one with 2 judges instead of the normal 3, and the referee not scoring in a full WBC championship. Heard about Narachawat, Jim, I thought maybe he'd be a harder puncher, but at the moment Davison's more than matching him for punch power.
Well, Davison is a very strong performer. He has a good chin. We've never had to worry about his ability to take a punch. I think Narachawat has a fair little bit of power, but I think he hasn't troubled Davison yet.
Looks like the champion enjoys close quarter fighting like that, but he's not winning too much at it. Certainly Davison's more than holding his own, as you saw there. Oh, what a good flurry of punches coming in there from Davison. You don't see that too often with British fighters. Round 4.
couple of young stags, Jim, the way they're just getting together there. And good referee, and he's letting them get on with it. He's not too pernickety about that because there hasn't been any holding.
Narachawat is trying to push Davison back now, but Davison still making good use of the uppercut in close.
That's good the way Davison now switches, little flurry to the body and finishes with one to the head. Almost anything you can do, I can do better, is the expression that Davison's giving us here, Jim. The expression and the impression, I should say.
Well, Narachawat is definitely not a classier performer than Davison. We thought he might have had a few slick moves which may have confused Davison, but that's not been the case. Davison has controlled most of the action very well, and the Thailander hasn't really shown anything special. He's obviously very strong, and no doubt determined, but he hasn't shown anything special.
Sometimes they look like a couple of wrestlers close in there looking to get the first hold. When they step back at arm's length, Davison, as they say in boxing parlance, is definitely the governor. Back to the corner, throws the arms in the air as if to say, please can I have a massage there, Narachawat. So a quick word with the corner man, Charles Atkinson, with Gary and Uban.
The champion is just starting to warm up. What's to come from him?
Well, we should come good in the next 3 or 4 rounds. We expected a fairly bright start from Davison. I mean, he started well on the attack as we expected, and I expect Srikoon to settle down and do some boxing now and do some work.
Davison has a reputation of a big puncher, but his punches don't seem to have any effect.
They've had no effect on Srikoon. I mean, the first 2 rounds he was quite dangerous and very busy, but Davison himself has faded slightly, and Srikoon's not wasting many punches, so I think we're doing okay at the moment.
Round 5. Well, it might be dangerous. Jim, as Charlie Atkinson suggested there, that he might be saving himself to come in for the second half of the fight.
Yeah, well, that's quite normal from the Thailanders, just to start slowly and box their way into a fight. Some good action again from Davison. The best I could give Narachawat in the first 4 rounds is a share possibly of one of the rounds. He certainly hasn't won a round in my card yet. He hasn't been doing enough work, whereas Davison really has been putting in the punches. I think one of Narachawat's problems, he's allowing Davison too close, and this suits Davison fine. Good little strong performer. He's putting his chin on Narachawat's shoulder, keeping it out of harm's way. I think the Thailander should be creating a little bit of space between him and Davison. to get some leverage for his punches. It's up to Davis not to allow that to happen, obviously. Oh, good shot.
Oh, a right hand there, right on the chin. There was a slight delay, and it doesn't look as though he's going to make it. And what a win this will be. Well, unbelievable that, because no expert, quote unquote, really thought that Davison could knock this fellow out, because they're normally as tough as old boots. The fifth round, well, it's taken him 31 years to become an overnight star, it would seem there, doesn't it? The hero from Newcastle. The border control doctor is in the ring now, tending to the Thailander. Now, they can't argue with that. No doubtful decisions, nothing. He got tagged and tagged in style, and he was getting beaten, both Jim Watt and I thought at the time. The finish, Jim?
Yep. Again, the right hand over the Thailander's pawing lead, bang on the chin, a beautiful punch. The way he went down, Reg, it was pretty obvious he wasn't going to recover from that. A beautiful punch, it come bang on the chin. See, again, he just led out with the left hand. Davison again come over the top, and tremendous power in that punch.
Well, that's the sort of thing that tonight's sponsors, Telstar Video, will want to be shown time and time again, I would think. And well done, isn't it, to John Davison. I've watched him quite a bit as an amateur, often thought he was vastly underrated. His wife's up there just behind us, Carol. The two kids are at home, but now what a story he can tell them.
48 seconds of round 5. On a count out, the winner and the new WBC International Featherweight Champion, John Davison.
Well, he may not bother to have a go at the British title now, Jim, now that Paul Hopkins has given it up. But I dare say the Board of Control, whose Secretary John Morris is here tonight, will match him with, I don't know, somebody, Sean Murphy, Peter Harris, you never know. That's the proud moment for any boxer. Jim, you've had a bit of that for the World Championships.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Davison should trouble much now about the British title. Why challenge for a lesser title when you could be defending your own? Because he's obviously his own would be on the line. A great performance. He came into the ring, he wanted that belt, and he never took a backward step. A great performance from Davison. Good luck to him in the future.
Yeah, please.
And what a moment that is for his wife, Carol. Tears of joy there, we're pleased to say.
Congratulations, John. That Thai has never been knocked down on the canvas, let alone knocked out. It was a fantastic punch. Let's have a look at it straight away, because that is what has made you the champion.
Well, I was just measuring him all the time while I right hook, switching to the body than the head. Because he was open all the time, so I was just working on the right hook to the head. So,
you weren't really having a lot of effect. It didn't look like you were going to do that, and suddenly it came.
Well, it's the first time I've been going to go 12 rounds. So I just wanted to pace myself, save myself on the second half of the fight. So I was just measuring him to the body, measuring him with the right hooks and uppercuts, and the punch just come automatic.
Pace yourself. You're going like an express train from the start.
That's the slowest pace I've ever boxed. Slowest pace I've ever boxed.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people watching this program won't know much about you. You've just sprung from nowhere at the age of 30, 31.
Well, it's just what you believe in yourself, what you can do. People say age is, that you're too old, but it's all, boxing is all psychological. It's in your mind. If it's in your mind, you can do it. You can fight forever if it's in your mind.
Charlie Atkinson, how shocked are the Thais about this one?
Oh, they're very shocked, because this boy's never been off his feet before. I mean, it was a punch in a million. Great punch. All credit to Davison.
So, what's going to happen as far as this championship's concerned? I mean, is Davison really that good?
Well, he's got a lot of experience. He's probably underrated. Davison's probably underrated. I mean, that punch came at a crucial stage in the fight when the Thai was looking good. But it was such a good punch. I mean, no one had got up from it. You just can't account for that kind of thing.
It's Carroll, really, that encouraged you to turn professional when you got left out of the Olympic team.
So stopped. Keep beating us up all the time, trying to turn to stomach.
What about it then, Carol?
Oh, it's marvellous. Just can't describe it. I just feel great.
There aren't a lot of wives who would persuade their husbands to become professionals. Most of them don't want to box.
I knew he could be a champion, you see, that's why.
Were you worried at all tonight? He's a strong boy, the Thai.
All week I've been very nervous. I thought he would win, but I didn't know whether it would go the full distance or what, but I knew he would win.
So the North East now has 2 world-recognised champions. Glenn McCory is, of course, the IBF World Cruiserweight Champion, and now Newcastle's John Davison is the new WBC International Featherweight Champion. We need to pause to take a short break, but don't go away. There's more knockout action still to come from Hartlepool.